The Cowra prisoner of war camp was constructed between 1941 and 1942 to house Italian POWs captured by Allied forces during World War II. It was part of a nationwide system of POW confinement and enemy alien containment. In all, 28 major camps were established in Australia by the British Military Board during this period. The camp was to consist of 4 compounds, 2 with permanent amenities and 2 temporary. Although officially operating from June 1941, the first internees were marched into Cowra nearly 4 months later on the 15th of October 1941. The major building program was still underway at this time and was not completed until well into 1944. Both POW and local labourers were used to complete construction. The prisoners living in tents until April 1942, when accommodation huts became available. By December 1942, over 2,000, mainly Italian prisoners and internees were housed in the camp. Between January 1943 and August 1944, over 1,000 Japanese POWs and internees arrived. By the end of June 1944, the camp was already overcrowded beyond its intended capacity. Lieutenant Colonel Monty Ambrose Brown was born on the 10th of July 1889 in New South Wales. On the 26th of January 1915, Monty was commissioned in the Australian Imperial Force as a second lieutenant. He was posted to the 12th Light Horse Regiment and embarked for the Middle East at Sydney on the 13th of June 1915. He did not spend a lot of time in the trenches of Gallipoli or, later, the Western Front, but on secondments in administrative and training roles. He transferred to the British Indian Army on the 18th of October 1917 and spent the remainder of the war stationed in Bombay, India. Following the war, Monty was commissioned into the Commonwealth Military Force as a cavalry officer, rising to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. He became a dairy farmer near Dapto on New South Wales' south coast. Monty was recommissioned into the Second World War on the 28th of June 1940 with the regimental number of N11. With outstanding organisational and personal skills, he was posted as Commanding Officer of the 22nd Garrison Battalion and Commandant of the No. 12 Prisoner of War Camp at Cowra.
Is there a white one? That's the only one I know of. Because I drove out to Lake Langalla yesterday to stay there because I saw on my map, I saw the bridge and the road, and I stayed at Forbes, and that was noisy. There's a bridge and a road over the Lachlan River, as it turns out, and I I remember staying in the caravan park with a one road and a bridge there. And we got up there and
Charles Shepherd was born on the 18th of February 1913 in Sydney. By 1937, he was living in Young, New South Wales, where he married Linda Irene and they had 3 daughters. When he enlisted in the Citizens Military Forces on the 30th of December 1941, his medical examination found that he was blind in the left eye and he was classified as suitable only for base or garrison service. On the 1st of January 1942, Charles joined the 16th Garrison Battalion and marched out to Hay, where the battalion was stationed guarding internment camps 6, 7 and 8. In early 1943, he was transferred to the 22nd Garrison Battalion, which staffed Camp 12 at Cowra in the Midwestern New South Wales. In the early hours of the 5th of August 1944, Charles was stabbed to death by a Japanese prisoner of war during a mass escape from Camp B. Charles Shepherd was 31 years old. Because Cowra was not considered a war zone at the time, his wife Linda was denied a widow's pension. She was unable to provide for her 3 daughters, so they were made wards of the state. Private Charles Shepherd was buried in Cowra Cemetery 2 days after his death.
I will take you into the grassed areas where you can see some remains, but there are a lot of signs about snakes in the area and the grass is quite overgrown. I don't want to risk it, so I'll just be doing some close-up shots and hopefully that can give you an idea. Okay, looking in the distance you can see the remains of what would have been the huts.
On the 5th of August 1944, Japanese POWs housed in the detention camp staged a breakout. Armed with improvised weapons including baseball bats and sharpened mess knives, they stormed the perimeter fences and overcame the machine gun posts. Never likely to be successful, the breakout resulted in the deaths of 231 Japanese prisoners, with a further 108 wounded. All survivors were captured in the surrounding countryside in the days that followed. A military court of inquiry investigated the incident, and a summary of its findings was read to the House of Representatives by Prime Minister John Curtin on the 8th of September 1944. The summary indicated the following: that conditions at the camp were fully in accordance with international convention, that no complaints regarding treatment had been made by or on behalf of the Japanese prior to the incident, which appeared to have been a premeditated and concerted plan of the prisoners, that the actions of the Australian garrison in resisting the attack averted greater loss of life, and that firing ceased as soon as control was assured, and that many of the dead had died by suicide or by the hand of other prisoners, and that many of those wounded had suffered self-inflicted wounds. Join me next time on my travels, where I will be continuing the exploration of Cowra by visiting the Japanese garden.